Hey, welcome to the channel. It's Jack, the Muscle and Mobility Maker with Stronghold Strength and Conditioning. And today, I'm going to be talking you through one of my favorite ways to use resistance bands. But before we get into it, make sure you take a moment and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on future content like this. Every Saturday, I'm putting out videos showing you how to resolve aches and pains, prevent injuries, and overall optimize your performance inside the gym and outside of it in your daily life and routine, and it doesn't get better than that. So take advantage of it. Ready? Let's go ahead and dive into this one. All right, like I said, today we're talking about one of my favorite ways to use resistance bands. And if you've been on social media looking around fitness accounts, you've probably seen this before. Somebody's got a band hooked to a post and then they got it over a joint and they're performing some type of stretch or movement in that position. It's called a banded distraction. And the reason this is one of my favorite things to do with a resistance band over using them for actual strength purposes is that it's going to actually improve the overall articulation of the joint, the way that the joint is specifically functioning and the way that it articulates on itself in that way. So this is one of the ways that we can directly influence how well that joint is moving and the actual space that it has at the joint, so that we're not constantly grinding that joint down or working that joint through a compressed state, which is not a good thing. We don't want to do that regularly with high repetition because that can cause problems over time. So banded distractions give us the option or the opportunity to actually get that joint, set it in a better position, and create space at the same time while that joint is moving. Now, that is a great place to start because once we impact that joint, we can impact directly those soft tissues that surround the joint. So we can use banded distractions at the ankle, we could use banded distractions at the knee, we could use banded distractions at the hip, and at the shoulder, elbow, or wrist. So any of those major junctions that are going along your arms or legs, those extremities, you can use a banded distraction to influence the position. Now, at the same time, this is similar to a traction effect that you might have in some of these areas. So we kind of get that benefit of creating traction or gapping even, something like the knee or the elbow, using it to gap that joint. Again, the whole concept is that it's putting the joint in a better position and creating more space for that joint to actually articulate on itself. Now, the one reason you'll always want to use a banded distraction as kind of your first attack or first attempt at improving a situation is because when you set that joint in a better position, that actually improves the function of the soft tissues that are surrounding that joint. It's almost like recalibrating the system overall so that things become more balanced. The joint is in a better position. That means that those muscles that actually control each end of that joint are going to have to adapt as well, lengthening and shortening appropriately, engaging appropriately to stabilize that new position. So one of the coolest things about banded distractions is that yes, we're setting the joint in a better position, but when we do that, that's also strengthening those tissues that are around the joint and helping them improve to stabilize that joint in that new position better. So not only do we get the joint to start to move well, we also have that joint in a position where those muscles now are functioning better, which is going to improve those basically the tendons and soft tissues that are connecting to those joints. That's all going to be brought along with that banded distraction. So it's not just the joint that gets impacted. We can't completely isolate that out, obviously, because there are connective tissues that are being influenced here, but that is the beauty of it overall. So we impact not just the joint, but we also impact the soft tissues. And with that thing in mind, that it is a form of strengthening those tissues, you have to keep in mind that as you improve your banded distractions and your mobility in those banded distractions, that you should be increasing your band size as well as you move along. It is a form of linear progression that you can do by increasing the band size and actually demanding more of those tissues that surround the joint as you move along. So don't just use what's comfortable. If you can get into a range of motion, if it's comfortable for you and you feel like you can still add more to that, then there's a reason to add some thicker bands to your repertoire and start to increase that pull on those joints at the same time. Because again, you're not just addressing the joint position or creating space, which more pull, when you get stronger, you're going to need more pull to create more space. Okay, so that's actually a big part of it. You need more resistance to actually allow your body to relax into those positions, or create space at the knee, or create space at the elbow, or pull the hip, because those tissues are also getting strengthened around the joint at the same time by using the resistance bands in this way. So that is one of the coolest things that I think we can use these bands for, is banded distractions, setting the joint in a good position, improving the soft tissues around the joint, and overall improving the function of those joints as a whole in coordination with the soft tissues. It's as simple as that. Yes, you can use them for strength as well. So the benefit to having a good band kit is that afterwards you can do some stability and strength exercises, actually pulling, engaging, pressing, those types of things. But to start, mostly going to be using these bands, if you see me, as a banded distraction, and then secondly as a form of strength, stability, resistance, that kind of thing. All right, and there you have it. My favorite way to be using these resistance bands in the form of banded distractions. If you like this video, make sure you let me know by clicking that big thumbs up down below. Take a moment to share this one with a friend. Maybe they're not quite sure what a banded distraction is, or you just want to help them progress their information and knowledge so that they can overall improve their mobility and keep themselves injury-free in the gym. Pass it along their way, share the love with them. If you're somebody who struggles with a training ache or injury that's been inhibiting your overall performance or keeping you from being able to perform at your best in the gym or out when you're on the track and field, whatever it might be, and you're ready for my direct help to resolve that ache or pain, what I want you to do right now is drop down below in the description to fill out a coaching application and schedule a mobility blueprint call. This is our opportunity to get on a Zoom call together so that I could first of all take you through an assessment, gather the information I need to tailor a program specific to your needs, and then overall lay that program out for you in detail on that call and answer any questions that you have. So if that sounds good to you, let me know by clicking that button down below and scheduling a call so that we can start moving in that direction. Last but not least, if you have not already, make sure you take a moment and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on future content like this. Every Saturday, I'm putting out videos showing you how to resolve aches and pains, prevent injuries, and overall optimize your performance in the gym and outside in your daily life and routine, and it doesn't get better than that. Welcome to the Stronghold Army. We'll see you next week.